Hello, my dear viewers. Namaskar. Welcome to Moksha Media. Moksha Hiremat is with you. Literature is the mirror of life, culture, and civilization. We can see the reflection of societies, happenings, and concepts and tenets in literary works. So, a literary work is not only a piece of writing, but it is a combination of all those things. That is why some literary works become very important in order to understand the period of that time or the society in general. When we look at literary works from different points and angles, we come to know how they are representing the society of that time. It is not a mere copy of the society, but it is more than a copy of the society. It is a creation and a recreation of the things at that time. Of course, when we look at religions, each religion uses its mainstream language. For example, Vedic use Sanskrit, Buddhism use Pali language, Jainism use Prakrit language, Veerashaivism use Kannada language in addition to other languages. And of course, we can say it regarding Islam uses Arabic, Christianity uses Latin, and other languages use the mainstream languages for their pleadings and descriptions. Of course, when we see these things, that doesn't mean they use only that language, but that becomes a mainstream language. In addition to mainstream language, they use other languages which are possible at that time or onwards also. From this point of view, we have to see the literary works and other things. If you look at the pre-old Kannada literature, it is clear to us each religion depends upon the mainstream of its own language. Of course, no religion is exception to this in the world. And when we read and study the available pre-old Kannada literary works, it is proved to us. And of course, Vaddaradhane is one of them. Vaddaradhane is a pre-old Kannada literary work. It has its own uniqueness in the history of Kannada literature in particular and world literature in general. Regarding the time, origin, authorship, and etc., there is a controversy of Vaddaradhane. Of course, some opine that Vaddaradhane is composed in between 1st century of Common Era to the 14th century of the Common Era. It may be composed in between these periods. Of course, the controversy is common regarding old works because most of them have not mentioned their names in their works. If by chance it is mentioned, there is a reference to other persons also. It may be a king or queen or patron, etc., etc. So that is why the controversy regarding the time, origin, and authorship is common regarding the old works and others also. Of course, the same thing can be said of Vaddaradhane. Some people say it is composed in the 1st century of Common Era. It is composed in the 6th century of Common Era. It is composed in the 10th century of Common Era, or it is composed in the 11th, 12th, or 14th century of Common Era. Whatever it may be, this Vaddaradhane has its own place in the history of Kannada literature. The author has used different sources for his stories. It is opined that Shivakotyacharya is the author of Vaddaradhane. But some people say, some critics opine that it is not Shivakotyacharya, but it is Brajishnu. Others opine that there was a scholar and a literary figure. He was a Shivarya, belonged to 1st Common Era, and he wrote in Prakrit more than 2000 stories, and he has given 40 titles, and Kavacha is the 35th title among the 40 titles. And later on, different persons comment on it. That is, these more than 2000 stories written in Prakrit have been used in different languages in order to propagate the Jainism. Of course, later onwards, some people say Brajishnu comment on that Brot Katha Kosha of Shivarya of the 1st Common Era, and later onwards in the 10th or 11th century, the persons collected all those Brot Katha Kosha stories and commentary of Brajishnu and composed Vaddaradhane. And these writers might have been lived around Shravana Belagola or Kogli in the taluk of Uvinadagali of Ballari district in modern day Karnataka. Anyhow, at the end of each story, the author used Shivakoti. That means it may be an honor to Shivarya also. But for the time being, Yas Vaddarajane is the first prose work availed in Kannada literature. So we say that it is its own place. That Vaddaradhane is a unique work. Whatever the author it may be, it has its own place in the history of Kannada literature. Of course, it is very unique in its path, in its explanation, in its narration and description, in its characterization and creating the characters, and etc. etc. Vaddaradhane, some critics opine that is based on the Harisena's Brihat Katha Kosha. Maybe the writer may get inspiration from any other sources. It doesn't mean he has copied those sources. He may be inspired by those sources. He may have used those sources in his own way by giving his own touch or own touch to literary works. That is what we have to keep in our mind while saying that Vaddaradhane is this or that or any other thing. What does Vaddaradhane mean? There are more interpretations regarding this Vaddaradhane. Vaddaradhane is the combination of two words. First one is Vadda and the second one is Aradhane. As far as Aradhane is concerned, there is no controversy. But as the word Vadda is concerned, there are so many comments on the meaning of it. Vadda means big in size also. Vadda means it is a name of a caste in Karnataka nowadays. In Karnataka and Andhra, we can say totally in Kannada environment. But here it does not refer to any caste, but it also means elderly persons or ancestors or elders. So one of the meaning is that Vaddaradhane means it is Brihat Aradhane because Shivarya first common era says that Bhagavati Aradhane, Bhagavati or Brihat Aradhane. So as the time goes on and on, Bhagavati Aradhane becomes Brihat Aradhane becomes Vaddaradhane. And others say that Vaddaradhane is a Prakrit word. Vadda means Vardhamana. So in a Prakrit it means Vardhamana Charite, Vardhamana Aradhane. As the time passes on and on, that Vardhamana Aradhane becomes Vaddaradhane because it is shortened. So Vardhamana Aradhane becomes Vaddhamana Aradhane and Vaddhamana Aradhane becomes Vaddaradhane. This is one of the interpretations. And another interpretation is that Vadda means elderly person or ancestors. Aradhane means worship. It is worship of elders. It is worship of ancestors. Any of these three meanings are applied to the work Vaddaradhane. These three meanings are relevant to this Vaddaradhane. Vaddaradhane, for a time being, we have taken for granted that Shiva Kotyacharya is the author of Vaddaradhane. Vaddaradhane is a Jain religious text work. It is a didactic one. It consists of 19 stories. And these 19 stories are taken from Kavacha. These 19 stories might have been taken from Kavacha of Shivarya of first common era out of 40 titles of Bruhat Kathakosha. That is, of Bruhat Kathakosha, that is a Kathakosha consisting more than 2000 stories in Prakrit language. So here in this Kavacha, the Munis, Jaina Munis, have been described. The life of Jaina Munis narrated and described. That is, these Jaina Munis try to have a Sallekana Ruta in order to be a human being, in order to get a rebirth, in order to get a good life in rebirth. Of course, Jainism believed in karma, birth, rebirth, death, and birth and rebirth, and of course, liberation. In order to be liberated, the soul is born again and again. It is relieved from so many things, and its rebirth depends upon its karma in its previous life, and according to its karma in previous life, one gets birth in the next life. If he does a good thing, he would become a human being. He would be born as a human being. If he does a bad thing, he would become an animal or rakshasa or etc., etc., or a woman, etc., etc. So, usually, this consists, that is, in order to follow the Sallekana Ruta, the Jaina Munis use, that is, Manava, Deva, Uparigraha, Tiriyat, and Achetana. Depending on these things, they would like to have Jnana, Darshana, and meditation, and Sallekana. That is, by following Jnana, Darshana, meditation, and Sallekana, they would like to do good things in the present life in order to get a good life in the next life. That is usually the concept of Jainism. I try my best to sum up it, but of course, sometimes it is very difficult to portray these philosophical tenets. But I try my best to say it in a simple language without affecting the meaning of that religion. Of course, in order to liberate from life, they follow the Sallekana Ruta. That is, while following Sallekana Ruta, they have to face so many problems, they have to face so many obstacles. It is man created obstacle, it may be a God created obstacle, it may be animal created obstacle, or it may be some other obstacles also. By punishing their body, they try to have their own saying, they try to have their own things in this life or the next life. If a person does a good thing, he would become a good one, he would be born as a good one in the next life. So, in order to achieve this, they follow, I have already told you, that is Jnana, Darshana, and of course that meditation and moksha. Moksha is the ultimate aim of Jains. That is the liberation from the rebirth is the ultimate aim of Jains. That is karma and janma, punarjanma and moksha. And one would like to free from this cycle of birth and death and rebirth. So, everyone tries to get moksha. That moksha is the ultimate aim of the Jain Munis. Of course, in order to get that moksha, they follow certain things, and especially they follow the Sallekana Ruta, which is very, very rigorous. That doesn't mean by following Sallekana Ruta they get moksha, but they go nearer to moksha. They get a good birth in the next life. So that Sallekana, by following Sallekana Ruta, these Jaina Munis becomes very superhuman beings, we can say for the time being. That means they detach themselves from the family, they sacrifice everything for itself, they go on pilgrimage, they eat whatever they get. If they don't get, they sleep with empty stomach, and as the time goes on and on, even they give up drinking water. Very, very rigorous thing in the life of a man, because without drinking water, it is very difficult to lead the life. And drinking water itself is a life. In such a position, these Jaina Munis deny drinking water in Sallekana Ruta. It shows to what extent the Sallekana Ruta is rigorous. Sallekana Ruta is very, very, very hard. As the time goes on, they give up that drinking water. They go on without the water, and one day, they leave forever and ever. By living forever and ever, they live in the minds and hearts of the people forever and ever also. That is what usually we see in these tenets. And Vaddaradhane goes round and round these things. Vaddaradhane contains 19 stories. It starts from Sukumara Swami and goes on Sanat Kumara, Bhadrabahu Bhattaraka, and ends with Rishabhanatha Swami. Rishabhanatha Rishi. So, while dealing with these things, it has its own style. Of course, it is based on the lives of the Jaina Munis, which have not yet got moksha, which have not yet liberated, but they try to liberate from the birth and rebirth. And while trying to get moksha, they do all these things. Of course, they get a good birth in the next life. And you see, while narrating the story, Shivakoti Acharya uses his own style. That style is very unique one. Generally, the stories begin with once upon a time. Yeah, the stories of a grandmother, grandfather. Once upon a time, there was a king, there was a queen, there was a minister and his wife. There was a village and town, and they had such and such a children. They do this thing and that thing, etc., etc. Of course, while depicting the stories of them, he uses stories, sub-stories, and stories in sub-stories. He creates relevant characters in different stories, complementing the main story. And of course, there is another speciality without using verb. As in English language, the Vaddaradhane writer composes sentence without the verb. That is the speciality of Kannada language and literature. With the help of postpositions or prepositions sometimes, we can compose Kannada, we can construct Kannada sentences. That is what happened in almost all cases, in almost all stories of Vaddaradhane. And not only that, Vaddaradhane creates relevant characters to relevant stories and stories in sub-stories. And not only that, it uses the stream of conscious techniques. As the story goes on and on, it remembers what is happened in the previous life, and again it comes to the present life, etc., etc. So the stream of consciousness is used in the 10th century itself in the history of Kannada literature. But we come to know that a stream of conscious techniques in English literature at the time of 17th century or 18th century of the prose works. We should not forget it is a prose work of the 10th century of Common Era. In other languages, prose works were not yet appeared, but at that time, Kannada literature has already produced this prose work, Vaddaradhane. This is the speciality of this Vaddaradhane. And not only that, that Vaddaradhane uses the simple and straightforward narration. It describes the incidents as if they were happened before our own eyes. It uses the proverbs of Kannada environment at that time. It depicts the life of Kannada environment, culture and civilization of that period. That is why Vaddaradhane becomes an important prose work because of all these things. It is not simply the worship of elders, it is in addition to, besides worshipping of elders, besides a Brihat Katha Kosha, it is a Brihat Katha Kosha of the life of the people of that era and of that religion also, especially of the religion of Jainism. So, in those days, Jain writers had contributed a lot to the development of Kannada language and literature. And Vaddaradhani is one of them. It is only the available prose work till this time. But other works are there. They are mentioned in the later periods of the poets and writers, but other works are not available now. And that is why Vaddaradhani is the only prose work which is available nowadays. This is what we have to keep in our mind while saying something about Vaddaradhani. I hope you appreciate the effort of mine as I try to introduce the Kannada language and literature, especially to the non-speaking Kannada persons, non-speaking Kannadigas. Of course, it is also helpful to the scholars and researchers, that is what I hope. But anyhow, I don't say very authoritatively. I try my best to portray as I have these things. So, see you in the next episode. Thank you and namaskar.